Hey everyone, welcome to Dave's Bonsai. On today's episode, short but sweet, how am I getting some of my trees to be bigger? Welcome to Bonsai Acres. Welcome everyone inside the passive solar green frame on what promises to be a very steamy weekend. We're shooting for 88 tomorrow and up to 90 on Monday. Today's Saturday. We're still going to be in the mid to upper 80s and the humidity is starting to kick up. It is a roasty one. What I'm going to do today though is just talk about one simple concept, which means I have to do nothing today but talk to you about it. Yeah, that means I do nothing to the tree this time of year. And I probably should do nothing to the tree for a long time, except for maybe a little bit of pruning from time to time. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the age-old question, how do we get our tree trunks to be thicker, right? Everybody says, put them in the ground, put them in bigger pots, make your trees thicker. Let them grow, cut them back, let them grow, cut them back, gets you thick girth. That Nabari is pretty. Let me show you some of the things that I have in the ground as a couple of examples. You've probably heard me say over the last couple of years that I get plenty of maple trees in my backyard, in my pots, in the pond, in the creek between the ponds, all because of my neighbor's maple tree. Leave them in the ground for a while, cultivate them, and you'll get a thick trunk. So here's one of them that I've left in the ground for the last couple of years. Now, I've chopped it here this year, right there. It was up to here, chopped it back. Look at the growth already this year, and down way low by this rock is the thickening trunk. Down there. Yeah, about that thick right now. Leave it in there this year, maybe next spring, I'll take it out and put it in a pot. If I want it super thick, just leave it in there for a long time. Let me show you an example of that next. So here we are. The next one I want to show you is a willow bush. Now, it's not a willow tree. It's sold as a willow bush. I think it's like a snow willow. Has a little bit of white color on it when it first leaves out a little bit on the leaves. But this willow tree, this willow bush shrub thing, was put in the ground in my property here at my house about 5 or 6 years ago. So here you go, everybody, 5 years. Look at my hands around this trunk. Now I've got this weird tangly one here. I'm not planning to make this into a bonsai, but this willow, look at it grow, look at it back bud down in here. If I were to chop this whole thing off from here on down, we'd get all this growth and we'd have this super fat Nabari with a 5 trunk tree. Now these are wrapping around each other and fusing together, so that's not so attractive. But if I would have been paying attention more and cut the right things at the right time, this could have been a stunning specimen of a bonsai, kind of like a cold hardy version of the narrow leaf ficus, because it's a willow tree, it's a willow bush, and it's got those narrow leaves. But look at the girth of that, everybody. It's got a big old root over here, which might be a little bit too big, but we could cut that one off and we have roots all the way around. Fantastic. Again, 5 or 6 years in the ground, everybody. Look at my hands, can't even fit all the way around it. Yeah, I'm a couple inches short. Okay, there's more to show you. Now, this juniper in the ground is nowhere like the last one I just showed you. This has been in the ground for about 5 years as well, but these are junipers, right? They don't get as thick as fast. Now, this is one of my friend Mark's tree who passed away a few years back, and I acquired some of his trees, tried to keep them going, and I put a couple in the ground. So this one right here comes up, and I cut this side off, so it comes up over here, and then here's what I have left. Got a little death right here, got a branch right here that's not doing so well. Now, it's not big and massive, but it's got this fun little design, and it's been in the tree for, or been in the ground for about 4 or 5 years. Maybe in another 2 years, I'll take this out of the ground and see if we can make it into a bonsai. Now, some of you might know that back along this fence right here in the east part of my backyard used to be all kinds of lilac trees. And we've, over the years, gotten rid of the lilac trees because now it's consumed, well, with my bonsai benches. So a quick little final day in May view, a little summary, a little garden tour of the benches. But that's not what we're talking about today. Not a tour, not an update, but there they all are. But what used to be there, we had to dig out of the ground. Well, guess what? I saved a couple of those trees and I put them in the ground somewhere else. So if you want a really fast growing tree or bush to turn into a bonsai, it would be the lilac tree. They grow like absolute weeds. So this is one of the trees that I planted about, again, 3-4 years ago. And down at the bottom is the woody trunk right down here. And you got this big branch coming here. Here's where I chopped it last fall. I just got the chop last fall. All of this growth is just this year, and we're only on May 31st. Look at this growth. This is 3+ feet of growth, more like 4 feet of growth. Cut this back down, keep it in the ground for a couple more years, let it grow up and get those first primary branches to thicken up, and I have a tree. Let me show you its sister just down the road. At the very same time I put that one in the ground, it was a solo trunk tree. I made it into a tree from the very typical suckering lilac trees and bushes that get so thick and bushy. It was a one trunk tree. Now it's chopped and ready to turn into a bonsai. Hopefully it won't get that fungus we've been having with our lilacs. But look at the sister tree. Now this one, after last year in the spring, I think I chopped this one 2 falls ago a little bit, cut a couple of bad branches off, and then it started to throw up all its suckers down below. And so last fall, look where I chopped it last fall. And it's got 4 or 5 branches right at the tip there. But look at down below here. I got a triple trunk right there. This right here, 3 branches, 1 back there. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 right in here, and this main old trunk. Now, if I were to chop it in half again and get some new branches there, plus all these thicken up, it's gonna be a very interesting tree. This might almost be too big in the middle now, but you can see back here a little bit, this one took off and it's real thick right from the base. So that Nabari is probably about that thick. Well, all of the branches are this thick around. And so this is all growth. Again, this is the second year for some of these branches, second year, so about 2+ feet of growth again. So these 2 trees next spring should be very interesting. This gnome is covered up now in the rhododendron. So this is a common rhododendron that has the purple spring flowers, beautiful purple flowers. You see them everywhere in Minnesota in the spring. They flower for a couple weeks and they're gone, kind of like the lilac trees. But this one has been in the ground, transplanted from a different part of the yard. Again, 5-6 years. And this has got some fun movement over here, but we had a little damage here. But it's healing over. Now, would I ever turn this into a bonsai tree? Probably not. It's part of our yard decoration. And I just don't think we would do that. But lo and behold, back in deeper in the tree, I did an air layer. So we're gonna see if this air layers and I might have a rhododendron for next year. Trees in the ground, thickening up, 4, 5, 6 years, and you are in good shape. By the way, here's the sister willow bush from the other side of the yard. That thing is what, 8 feet off the ground now? I could chop that thing down. And let's go inside and look at this root structure here at the base. Look at that thing. And again, I'll put my hand by it. Slanting up, a couple different trunks growing up there, 5, 6 years in the ground. That could become a really cool bonsai tree. Now here's one of the other lilac trees here on the property when we bought the house, like the other ones. And look, it's got a solo trunk right here, divides into 2 there, comes up here and has a bit of a, some curly, fun movement in the branches in there. It's like a solo tree amongst all of these lilacs that bush out. So if I were to dig that one out, that could also become an interesting tree. We'd have to cut it down low because we can't have a bonsai that high. So I have a couple things to show you real quickly, and we'll wrap this one up for today. Keeping things in the ground as long as you can for thick trees. So how about an elm tree, y'all? So this spring, a friend from the club and I was able to go collect some trees from a piece of property that he knew of. He got permission from the guy to go dig up some of these Siberian elms. It's bright and early on May 9th, 2025. And my buddy Ben from the Minnesota Bonsai Society and I are out at the field that we marked a few trees a few months back. He found this property and said, "Hey Dave, I think we can dig up some Siberian elms." And so this whole field is full of Siberian elms, and we marked them up. Now I just gotta find where I placed them all. So as you can see, there are hundreds and hundreds of trees. It's a maze. And we marked these trees with colored ribbon, but I discovered with the first tree that it's faded. So I'm having a hard time finding them all. There's one right there. I don't know if I marked that one or Ben did, but it's a twin trunk down there low. But I'm gonna keep peeking. I wanna just find 2 today because I'm heading up to the property. Finally found another one. So here's the ribbon right here. And look down there at the trunk. We've got some really fun movement. Now this is a really big tree. This will not fit in my car, but I think if I cut it in half, very sandy soil though, so we might be in good shape. There's not really a 360 root flare. There's a big tap root. So I gotta go see if I packed my loppers. Now, I am really far away from the car, so if I load this up with sand, this is going to be really heavy to carry, but it's a pretty light tree. And after cutting off a few branches, I think we have a reasonable tree that will go in my car. Oh, yeah, but that's going to be a heavy lift. That first one is a bit of a monster. That's going to be a lot of work getting back to the car, but this next one, I think a little bit more manageable. And this is a twin trunk. Some nice movement. It opens up nice to the front. Let's dig this one out. I think I'll bring this one to the roadside. Get this one close to the road and then have to go dig that next one and drag it all the way back. I'm not sure how well you can see back there. There's so much stuff. Oh my gosh, we just had a great experience picking up a couple of Siberian elms. They're just starting to leaf out. I got a small double trunk up here in the front seat with me. Yeah, I don't have any more room. I got to go up to the property and unload some of this stuff. Let's do it. So I got this real big one that has a nice gnarly trunk down there. The bottom two branches are gone, unfortunately. But all is good so far. And then I also got this tree for kind of a twin trunk. So there's the twin trunk right there. It goes all the way up and all of these branches are still alive. So this was collected about 3 to 4 weeks ago now, and I have it in 100% pumice. So if I want these to be bigger, I could put them in bonsai acres and get them even bigger. But I thought that was a fun bottom to a tree down there. Some nicely distributed branches already, and we'll chop this way back after it recovers for a full year plus. I won't probably prune this until a year from this fall. If I do it next spring, we'll see how much it grows this year before I decide that. And the cool part of that property, there are hundreds, if not thousands of trees. And if he doesn't do anything with that property between now and this time next year, go back and get myself another half a dozen trees for bonsai acres and start propagating some of these Siberian elms. Fantastic. Now, one more thing to show you is the Amur maples that I collected a couple years ago with my buddy Steve. So here we go. So here's my 5 clump. Now we just repotted this year. So I got a video on that. Go check out when I put that in the pot. And now look at this from a distance. We can see our main trunks. We got our death right here on the right side. This is a new one trying to grow. And all of this green right now, if I were to kind of get that into a profile, it'd look pretty good. That's just this spring's growth. And right alongside it, since we're right here, don't forget about my Taxus, my U from Michael. And so this one is doing okay. We're not putting on a ton of new growth right now. It's kind of stalled out a little bit, but we'll keep fertilizing that guy and making it look good. But look at these thick trunks, right? This was in a wine barrel for years at a buddy of Mike's. And then he took care of it for a few years, and now I've got it in this one right here, Amur maple, in the ground. My buddy, who's a contractor, comes up across some people's property that they say, we don't want these anymore. And he goes, I'll take them. If you're looking to have a big tree, if you're looking to get that thick trunk, you really probably should go ahead and keep the tree in the ground. We're in the PSGF now, and the fans are going strong because we're at 80 degrees in here on this beautiful day with the door open even. It is time to sign off. A short and sweet one. If you can, put one in the ground right now and forget about it. Let it grow, cut it back, let it grow, keep it nice and pretty for you and your family to enjoy, knowing that in about 3, 4, 5 years from now, you can dig it on up and you can, of course, put it in a pot and make a lovely bonsai. And don't forget, after it's in the ground for 3 years or so, make sure you dig out and cut some of those roots, but then just leave it in the ground, and then it'll start to bifurcate in the roots, and you'll have a good root system when you do dig it up for a Yarmadori. Yardadori, not Yarm, Yardadori. We've got the big old Expo coming up at the end of July, so I might not be putting out a ton of videos in the next 4 to 6 weeks, all in preparation for the Expo. July the 26th, from about 9 a.m. Central Standard Time USA until about 3 p.m. That, 4 to 6 hour range, we're gonna be broadcasting live across the world on YouTube. The information is on the screen. Make sure you join us. And again, if you want to send a picture now, your tree should be booming. They should be really picture worthy coming up now or soon. Take a picture, send me at least a picture of your tree. Tell me about you and your microclimate and this tree. I'd love to show it on the show. And if you still want to be a part of the Expo, we've got a little bit of time left. Make sure you send me an email, bonsaiacres@gmail.com. Time for some refreshments and a break. Short and sweet today. Get your trees to be big, and don't forget to make sure you're a part of the Expo on July the 26th. Can't wait to see you all and be a part of that. Send those pictures in. Until then, take care of you, take care of your bonsai, and we'll catch you on the next one. Welcome to Bonsai Acres.